All right, so we are on lesson 2 from Unit 7. So we're talking about farm to table, basically how the food gets from where it's at to your plate, which is a really important part that you need to know. It's very important to know where your food comes from. A lot of people are becoming more interested in this because as people become more health conscious, they want to know where it comes from. So every aspect from growing to getting the food on your plate is under the agriculture umbrella and deals with agriculture. So before, it was usually food came from the farm. It was eaten at the farmer's table. They grew it in their garden. They grew it themselves. They hunted it themselves. Now, we get food from all across the world. So it begins with the harvest of the food. Then it goes to transportation. So that's trucking the food, flying the food to the grocery store, processing the food, and preserving the food. And then it's purchased, cooked, and served. So food is still harvested by hand, especially like um, raspberries, tomatoes, things that are very fragile. They would, they could get bruised easily. That's all still done by hand, and it will still continue to be done by hand. But some larger crops or some more durable crops, they are harvested by machine, by combines, or they even have robots now that like will pick apples and things like that. But for the most part, like your fruits and other types of vegetables, they're going to be by hand. Grains, corn, think of crops that are grown massive in a field. Those are combined or those are harvested by combine. All right, so food grown for preservation is harvested and sent directly to the processing system. So this can happen in 24 hours or less, like let's say green beans. So the green beans are picked and they're sent right to the processing plant where they're going to start canning those green beans into cans to last for a long time on the pantry that you can use them. Um, Okay, so if you buy food directly from the grower farmer, like a farmer's market, like it's getting more and more popular, you're eating food harvested really recently um, at ideal time. Whenever you shop at a farmer's market, the vendors, they were probably picking food that week. So you probably have less variety than you do at the store, but you know that the quality is probably better and it tastes better, honestly. If you've ever grown your own food in a garden or had a grandparent or parent that did, like tomatoes, if you've ever had a homegrown tomato, they are a lot more, they taste a lot more nutritious and they taste a lot better than those you buy in the store just because they're more fresh and they don't go through the process that other ones do. So fresh produce that's in the grocery store, it's usually older because it's traveled a big distance. So um, fresh summer fruits and vegetables that we see now, like in the winter, we're not growing these in America. Where do we get them from? So they're from South America. So they travel a really long distance to get to us. So they're a little bit older and they may get bruised or batted around. Um, that's why they may not have as much flavor, as they do whenever they're in season. And that's why they're more expensive when they're not in season. So here's steps from farm to table. First, you harvest at the source, so picking those tomatoes, transporting it, so that's transporting it for processing or sale, and this could be farmer's market or even larger, and then selling it. So food is processed at the production plant, then it's shipped and it's sold to stores, restaurants. Usually it involves semi trucks, maybe even boats, maybe even airplanes. So a lot of the world, America doesn't have this problem, but a lot of the world does still face problem with food supply. It's called food insecurity. That's where their grocery stores look a lot different than us. They walk in and they don't have everything they could ever want in the grocery store. It's only what they can grow. So that's definitely something to be addressed and that we take for granted, I think, as Americans.